How you doing? Jonathan Ferengi here from Marble and Granite. Here today to talk to you about a little bit of quarrying techniques, some basic fabrication and polishing techniques, as well as some finishes with natural stone. First thing I'd like to talk to you about is a little bit of the nomenclature, some of the cuts of quarrying techniques. The first one here being rift cut. That's basically having a cut that's in a natural rift of the quarry, going along with the natural layout of the stone in the quarry. A vein cut would be cutting across the bed of the natural direction of the stone, and a flurry cut is cutting across the bed with the flurry, and flurry means flowers in French, so it kind of gives that flowering look to the grain of the block. So if this is a block of stone, you're looking at a vein cut coming across this way, so it shows the veins, the natural movement of the stone, and a flurry cut being cut with the bed across the vein, so you see the flowering of the stone. This is a basic quarry here, and as you can see, this giant wall here of stone has already been separated from the rest of the quarry, the bed of the quarry. They've put some crushed gravel and stone on the bottom, and as you can see, this wall in a second is going to come down by a loader and sticking wedges, hammering wedges into the top of that wall, and have it come down. And this gravel and crushed stone here is to help soften the impact of that wall. So as you see here, the wall slowly comes down, crashes. Now this wall actually split in half, basically giving two different blocks to work with. Very common technique used in quarries. The impact of that wall coming down is like 50 tons coming down to the earth, so it's pretty massive. Talked a little bit in my previous lesson that we spoke about is some of the quarrying techniques of slate, and as you can see, we talked about having a specific direction of how it's quarried. Now you can see that it's in shale deposits here, and you can see all the layers, and it's actually at about a 45-degree angle that this quarry operates at. It has to be because you want the water to drain through it, and that's how it's formed. So it gives it that angle for the water to drain off of it. This is an open quarry. This is a quarry, a granite quarry that's in the United States. As you can see, there's many different layers to the quarry. It's very accessible. You can get heavy machinery and trucks at any different level of that quarry and whichever floor they're working at to produce materials. Very easy, very safe, and many granite quarries have around the world have this same type of look to them, where you have roads leading to the different levels and making it very easy to have high production at the quarry. So that's some basic quarrying. Getting into some of the fabrication and finishes. If you look here, this design here, this material, this is actually 4 slabs. If you slice it down the middle, top to bottom, and slice it in the middle, side to side, it's actually 4 slabs, and when put together, make this pattern, and it's called vein, or this type of veining is called diamond matched. And basically what they do is they're cutting this small block in half, they fold it open, cut it in half again, and fold it open again, almost like a book. And hence you have this type of pattern. Very beautiful. You can do many things aesthetically with this, whether it's a giant floor and a foyer, or for a wall in a bathroom of a grand or master bathroom. The problem with this type of diamond matching is that if you lose one slab to breakage or something happens to it, you basically lose the entire pattern. Hence it loses its value. A book match, which is much more common, many distributors like ourselves at Marble and Granite have slabs such as this, which is actually book matched. If you drew a line right down the middle in half, it's 2 slabs, and you put them together and it continues the same pattern. Very commonly done with some of the exotic stones especially. Another veining is called a slip matched, and if you see all the veining on the walls here is all going in the same direction, that's considered slip matched. Some of the common finishes to stone are polished, honed, flamed, or thermal, sawn, sanded, and then there's many other finishes. We're going to talk about a few of the more common ones, like polished, which is basically a high mirror-like finish with sharp reflections. Basically, how this is achieved is by using multiple grinding heads, progressively with finer and finer abrasives, very similar to wood, where you're using sandpaper that has a much more coarse sandpaper, getting down to the finer to smooth it down. So basically what happens when I talk to people about a polished surface or any type of stone, if you look at the sawn finish of a stone under a microscope, it's going to have pores to it if you're looking at it under a microscope. As those grinding heads continue to grind down that surface from rough, more coarse down to the finer grit, you're basically flattening and smoothing that surface so much that light can no longer get trapped into those pores and it reflects off of it. Oftentimes, people think of a polished stone as similar to wood that has a high shine, that something's actually applied to the surface of it, when in all seriousness, that's not the case. A honed finish is very similar to a polished in the sense that it uses the same exact process with those multiple grinding heads. The difference is that they will stop the process somewhere in between the final polish. So it leaves it with a smooth but matte finish. So if you were talking in regards to the finish, you'd have a high polish. A honed finish, all that really is saying is like a satin or matte finish.